Hey everyone, welcome to Blooms and Brushstrokes. This is my channel. My name is Krista and welcome to my watercolor painting journey. For those of you that are new here, thank you for stopping in and checking out my channel. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for returning and for your continued love and support and making this channel a lot of fun for me to do. So I appreciate you all for being here and for stopping in to see what's happening on the channel today. So today is something kind of exciting. It's a little bit different. I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do a tutorial this weekend because I had a wedding to go to yesterday. So typically I film on a Saturday morning and then I have time to edit it and get it out for Tuesday morning. That's kind of what I've tried to do all year. However, sometimes I end up having to record on a Sunday because Saturdays typically are when people do things. So anyways, today is Sunday, but I woke up early this morning and I was so excited to do this tutorial today, but not so much a tutorial. I'm excited about the tutorial, but I was able to get myself to the local art store. So it's called Black Dog Art. I think it's called Black Dog Art Supply. I'll link it all in the description. Anyways, we have this beautiful art store in Regina. I think it's kind of one of the only ones other than Michael's that actually is a fine art store, print shop, and they make locally made watercolor paints there. Well, paints. The Stone Ground Paint Company is there. So they produce the paints out of that. So this is the company called Stone Ground Paint Co. I have adored watching them make their paints on their reels and all that kind of stuff. So I knew when I made that little bit of money from YouTube last month that I was going to buy some paints and some supplies. So to start with, I bought a little 6-pan palette here, if you guys can see. And this is the Night Garden palette. So hopefully you guys can see that. I swatched them out here this morning. Some really beautiful colors. So there's a gamboge, yellow, a Pazuli, earth red, quinacridone, I don't know how to pronounce it. Quinacridone, magenta. Anyways, we're going to call it magenta. And then there's manganese violet, Prussian blue, and hooker's green. Gorgeous. Honestly, they are gorgeous. It's interesting to me, the violet, any violet that I ever seem to use is a bit of a weird, it is a bit different. It's like a bit interesting. And again, when I see this one dry on here, it is interesting as well. So I don't know, it seems violet is maybe a tricky color to really nail down. But anyways, it's beautiful nonetheless. And it just has a bit of a different consistency or something than the rest of them. And I find that sometimes with violets, that happens, but doesn't matter to me. These are gorgeous. I'm so excited to paint with them today. Very exciting. And then the other thing that I got that was new too is I went to when I was at the art store, excuse me, I'm sweating. We're still in a heat wave here. So I went to the art store and I asked them, what do you have for archival ink pens that aren't the Micron ones? While I do love the Micron pens, I don't find they last the greatest. I've been through oodles and oodles and oodles of pens. I just buy them in like the bulk pack of like 6 or 8 or I don't even know how many comes in them, but I always buy them in that and I seem to go through them fairly quickly. And so they suggested to me the Faber-Castell. So I picked this up as well. It's the 0.1, so you can get them in different sizes as well, and it's black. They had other archival ink pens there, but they weren't in the black, and I'm just not super interested in really diving into anything of a different color than this one here. But I just want to tell you about that. Today, I've had this urge to paint without using the black ink. And so this all started because when I painted the orchids a while back, I really loved the orchids before I went and put the outline on. And then I put the outline on and it was okay. I still enjoyed it, but I really love the orchids without the black pen. So ever since then, and I even posted it and somebody even commented that they enjoyed it better as well without the black pen. So I've kind of been craving trying to explore more painting without using the black ink. Now I do love the black ink, don't get me wrong. It is something I love the line work. I really enjoy that. But I just have been craving something a little bit different. So today I am going to do the orchids. I'm going to paint them without using the black ink, I think. We'll see how it goes. If I'm feeling inspired to use the black ink at the end, I will. But at this point, I'm planning to do it without. I have sketched out the drawing a little bit here so that I can have a reference of where I'm at so it doesn't just turn into this big mess, because it can happen, and it can happen very quickly, especially if you're not using something to kind of rein it in a bit. So we aren't going to be using the ink to give that definition. So we're really going to solely rely on the paint. But I love still that looseness and the dot technique. Like, I don't want to paint it really super detailed with the paint. Like, I still want it to be quite loose and airy and whimsical. So I have it drawn out. I will put this up for you guys so you can take a picture of it. I am actually going to go in with my kneadable eraser and pick up as much of that dark as I possibly can, because I don't really want those showing through the background, but still leaving enough there that I can see still where the flowers are, where the leaves are, etc. So today we are going to use these stone ground paints. Yeah, we're just going to use those today. We're going to go straight up with the stone ground. I'm going to I'll mix some of them together, but I'm not going to mix them with any other paints. I'm just going to straight up use those. We've got our number 8 Aqua Elite round brush, which is my go-to. I absolutely love that. I do have some of the calligraphy ink. So I've got the Winsor Newton Gold. I'm not entirely sure what I want to use yet. So I've got the Winsor Newton Gold, which is kind of more of the brassy color. The Speedball Gold as well, which is more of a yellow gold. And then I also have this Speedball calligraphy ink that's just plain white. I picked that up the other day when I was at Michael's for some highlighting and detail. I don't know if I'm going to use that today or not, but we'll see how the painting goes. I do have these all set aside so we can use whatever we need to. I will also use the 10-0 liner brush, and then if we do some splatter, we'll use the number 1 script brush. I'm using the Strathmore watercolor cardstock, so I am painting a card. I do have another sale coming up on August 1st, which I will be taking some more cards and some more of my beaded bracelets too. So I will be working on cards for a bit here again. The sale's in, I don't know, like a week and a half, so I just got to get a few things done. So I thought, well, we'll do a tutorial on a card, and that'll add one more to my stash. So yeah, get all your supplies ready. I'm sure you don't have the stone ground paints, but they are available online. I will link it in the description of the video. They are beautiful. The colors you can get, there are so many beautiful colors. Oh, they're gorgeous. So I wanted to start with this just as a starter pan set, but I will definitely dive into more of the colors. They have this beautiful display and they have so many colors. They even have metallics. So eventually I will branch into more of them. I'm so excited, and I'm really excited that they're locally made. You can buy them local here. So if you can find anywhere in where you live that you can buy locally made, produced, sold goods, art supplies, support them. Honestly, how cool is that? Oh, I just think it's amazing. So anyways, you guys, get all your supplies together and let's get ready and paint this tutorial. Okay, you guys, so I'm all ready to roll here. Check out these beautiful paints. I just want to show you guys up close here. They're just so gorgeous. I love them. Okay, so we have our drawing, and it's very light, so I'm sure you guys cannot see it, but it's there, and it's just the orchids. I think they are so beautiful. So we're gonna play around with that and these paints. which are right here. I do have this little ceramic dish to mix up the colors in a bit because I am going to mix them a little and dilute them quite a bit for some softness. So I'm going to do the flowers in the magenta, perhaps a little bit of the violet, maybe some of the earth in there. So we're going to play around with that, but I really want them diluted. I don't want them super bright. So I'm going to take that magenta and I'm going to put it into this little mixing dish, and I'm going to dilute it quite a bit. I want to mute down the color a little as well, so I'm going to take a bit of that Hooker's green, not a lot of it, and I'm just going to tone that down a bit, as you can see. So red and green are complementary colors, so they will neutralize each other a bit, and so that's just basically what I did with that there, just to kind of tone down that color a bit, as I don't want it to be too vibrant. So I just have this little piece of paper that so you can see that's diluted and it's neutralized a bit. Whoops, that is not. So that's straight up, which is good. We can add a dot of that in there, but I want something that's a little more diluted than super bright. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more of that with a little bit more of that green in there, just so I have a bit more to work with. Okay. We can start up here in the left-hand corner to get these going. These are just the little buds up here. So they don't need to be anything too fancy. We can go in with a dot of the straight magenta right out of the paint pan set here. A small dot. Now we're working on a very small scale because we have that the cardstock again. So keep your dots small, and we're going to use more of the tip of the brush than we are of the whole entire brush itself. And we're going to put a couple dots of the diluted and maybe one dot of that green in there, maybe two. So you can see I've got really small dots. You're going to clean off your brush as usual, and you're not going to want a ton of water on there, but you still want to be able to see it glistening. And we're going to go and we're going to pull that around to make that little bud. Perfect. Just like so. I think that looks great. I like the idea of having some of that green in there. So there's a few buds that I have going on. So we're going to work on the next one. We're going to go up top here. And I'm put that green at the bottom because I think I like that. I think I'm going to like that a little bit more. We're going to go one dot of the magenta out of the pan set and one out of our mixed, or two out of our mixed, we'll say. Clean it off, clean off your brush really good. And then again, you don't want it to be dripping, so you will want to take it and dab some of that off with your paper towel. It just gives you a little bit more control. And then we're using more of the tip of the brush as opposed to the whole side. And you're just going to make that shape a little bit. I've left a little bit of negative space in there with that white, as you can see. You just want it to look, yeah, you still want it to look like the shape of a bud, but some organic movement in there is a-okay as well. I just do like little lines here and there to give a little bit more kind of interest into that. And so we're going to work on our last bud here. And we're just going to take a very small dot of that green, very small. And we're going to go with that magenta straight out of the pan. We're going to put two dots of that in there. This one might be a little bit brighter. I just want a little bit. There we go. And then we'll do a couple dots of that. Perfect. Okay, and so again, clean off your brush. You don't want it soaking wet, but you want some moisture on there. And you're going to work that like so. And then you can do the stem. moving into that. I think that looks really cute so far. So just remember that we're not going to be putting the black line work around it. So we want to keep these looking flowy and loose, but we also want them to look slightly like their shape. So now we're moving into this flower up here. It's a smaller one. Then we kind of get bigger as we get close, or we do get bigger as we get closer to the bottom. We will work on the 2 leaves at the very end. And that's going to be kind of a fun little technique I'm going to try out today. So we'll go into this next flower. And I'm going to use just the diluted, maybe I want to add a little bit more magenta into it though. Yeah, that's what I want, a little bit brighter there. And so we're going to just go in and around and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple down here. I am going to take a little bit of this gamboge yellow for the center. As you know, an orchid isn't always just like one straight color. Oh, you can hear the cat in the background. And maybe a little bit of the earth red. I don't know. We'll see. I think this could be fun. I haven't practiced this either. So we're just all doing this together. So clean off your brush really good. Oh my gosh, the cat's dragging around his little mouse toy. Now we're going to go in the back here and just paint in those big petals that are poking around the back. Oh, I love that actually. I really do. Oh my gosh, the cat is dragging. He's got a mouse toy and he's dragging it around. So we can go in and add, you know, a little bit of detail with some of this mixed magenta if we want, just to add a little bit more color. No, I'm going to leave it. I think you can end up working it too much. Just the way that it is, I think looks beautiful. So we're going to go on to the next one there. I love those colors in there. They turned out so beautifully. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 down there. That's our mixed magenta. Going in with that gamboge yellow. And a little bit of that earth red. That'll probably be good. Clean off your brush. Quite a bit of water on there. And we're pushing it down. We're using a lot of brush at this point. Clean off your brush for the second side. And we're going to go down. Woo, that's kind of crazy. And create that shape in there. So I want to add a bit more of that magenta in there. There's quite a bit of that earth red, which is fine. I like it, but I'm just going to add a bit more of that in there. Just like so. This looks too liney. Just go in and blend it out a bit. Yeah, I think that looks good. Very pretty. We can take a bit of that magenta and we can connect this stem here. We're going to work on the last one here. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots. So I got those dots down there. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to go with that yellow. And with that earth color, earth red again, but I just don't want it to be quite as brilliant. So I'm just going to do a small dot. Clean off your brush a lot. Yeah, that looks great. How pretty is that, you guys? I think these are gorgeous. Let me know what you guys are thinking so far. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. I love the colors in there. I love how they're looking. A little bit abstract. So we're going to go on and put in some of these leaves in the background, and they're going to be a bit more abstract than, you know, normal, but I have them painted in there. And so this one's coming around the back and this one's coming out the side. So the one coming out the back, we want it to be there, but we don't want it to blend too much with this flower. So we really want to be careful of that. So I'm going to use the Hooker's green with, maybe I'll mix a bit of the blue and the green together as well to have some dimension, diversity in color. Okay, I like that. I think that's really pretty, so you guys can see. Okay, so we're going to take Hooker's green straight up out of the pan, quite diluted, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Maybe a dot of yellow up in the top there. And then 1, 2 of the mixed green. Get lots of water on your brush. We're dealing with a bigger area, so you want quite a bit of water. And we don't want these to be brighter than our flowers. We want them to kind of be more in the background. So we want it diluted, but still you want some, you still want to see the color. And we've got good color in there. It looks beautiful. I think that's awesome. Just like so. Oh, I think that's great. And I'm leaving that white space in there. Okay, I have to, you guys, this cat, he has been giving her since about 4 a.m. this morning. I don't know what's gotten into him, but he's so full of energy. I don't know when he's going to lay down. Oh my gosh. So we're going to do our last one here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 with the straight Hooker's green from the pan set. A little bit of that yellow up in the top. And some of our mixed green in there as well. Which looks great. And so then clean off your brush. Again, lots and lots of water. Be careful if this one's still wet. You don't want to be bumping into that flower, because we don't want it to bleed into that. It's not bad if it does a little bit, but we really want to keep it a bit separate. Oh yeah, like I think that's just gorgeous. Beautiful. How nice is that, you guys? The softness is amazing. Wow, I really love how that turned out. I really, really, truly do. So we're not going to do the black ink in there. I'm going to avoid that, but this is a closer up look of that Faber-Castell, that Echo pigment, and it is waterproof, maximum light fastness, it's acid free. So it is a beautiful pen. I use that to do the writing on here, and I really actually love it. So I might be switching, pardon me, to those, but we'll see. So we're gonna let these totally dry up. I think I'm gonna use the gold, the Speedball gold, because I have some gold in here, and I am gonna do some splattering. That's it though. I'm not gonna do any highlighting. I'm just gonna go in and splatter. So again, you guys, you're coming along for the ride with me. This is, new as well. So this is the reality of being, an artist. You just you just play with your paint until you come up with something that you love. But just play. That's the funnest part about art in it, and just letting yourself be free and trying something new. And literally, you guys just tried this new with me during this tutorial. So, I mean, if I messed it up, you guys would have been right along for the ride. And even if I messed it up, we learned something. So this splatter may be too much. It may not go, but I'm going to do it anyways. We're pretty dry everywhere now. So again, I'm going to stay with concentrated splatter down in the bottom and then get finer as we move up to the top. So we'll go down here. Yeah, I think this is going to be pretty. Lots of splatter. And then just as we move up to the top, we're going to get a little bit finer with the splatter. Ooh, I love that. I love that, you guys. I really, truly do. So I'm going to go sign the painting. Just down here at the bottom. Oh, that is a beauty. It's a little bit more muted, a little more soft without doing that line work. And I think it just has this beautiful feminine feel to it. And I don't know, I was kind of just feeling that vibe. And it's soft. And it's muted, but it's still so pretty. Well, friends, that is that tutorial. You know, it's so soft and it's so muted and it's so pretty that I really love how this looks without the black ink. I still totally love the black ink for some paintings, absolutely. But I am kind of excited to explore some more without doing that, without having the structure of that black ink. But I still feel the black ink gives boldness and power and structure and all that good stuff to a painting. So I really do like that. But sometimes I find it can be a little bit too much in some of the paintings that I do, where it's like, maybe I could have done it without, maybe a little bit less. So I'm just trying to find the balance of what I like. And here in this one, I absolutely love how muted it is. And I think that kind of goes with us as people and in our life. There's times when we feel more soft and feminine and elegant, and then there's times that we feel more bold and courageous and vibrant and loud or whatever. And so I think it's okay to paint that and express that in your paintings as well. And when you're being creative, even, you know, like sometimes I do these beaded bracelets, and sometimes I like the ones that are just subtle and beautiful and earthy, but then I like ones that are really like bold and gold and glitzy and vibrant. And that's okay. We don't have to stick in one box. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about art, is that there is no end to the possibilities. And that is what I love so much about painting, about creating anything in general. There's just endless opportunity if you just let yourself play and be creative and let yourself be free. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think of this tutorial. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on it. It's a little bit different, but I thought, let's switch it up a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you love the tutorial, give me a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think. If you didn't like the tutorial and you're all about the black line, let me know that too. I love to hear people's opinions of where they're at. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please give me a subscribe. We're so close to hitting 3,000 subscribers. We're about 100 away, maybe 90 subscribers away. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and help me get to that 3,000. And that would be really awesome. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and having fun with this tutorial with me. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Have a great day.